Imagine standing on a mountaintop, surrounded by silence, feeling at one with the vastness around you. Now, what if that depth of calm and understanding could define every interaction in your life? What if true connection wasn't about seeking approval or validation, but about seeing others with empathy and wisdom, without the filters of ego and expectation? Welcome to a Stoic journey, where connection is redefined not by what we say or how we're perceived, but by the compassion we cultivate within. As Marcus Aurelius once reflected, kindness is invincible. It's a reminder that genuine human connection isn't something we chase. It's something we build within and offer to others without expectation. If the idea of unshakable, meaningful connections resonates with you, you're in the right place. Let's explore the Stoic path to compassion, one that not only strengthens relationships, but transforms how we see ourselves in relation to others. Drop a comment with your thoughts on compassion or share your own practices of empathy, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Together, let's build a community rooted in timeless wisdom and resilient compassion. Lesson 1: Practicing empathy, understanding others without judgment. In Stoic philosophy, empathy is a core value that promotes harmony and understanding in human relationships. The Stoics believed that empathy is not just an emotional response, but a deliberate practice of putting ourselves in another person's shoes and viewing life through their perspective. Empathy allows us to see beyond our personal biases, enabling us to understand the intentions, struggles, and emotions of others without the need to judge. By practicing empathy, we cultivate compassion and create space for genuine human connection, even in challenging interactions. To develop empathy, begin by recognizing the shared humanity between yourself and others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." This observation reminds us that others' actions are often driven by their personal circumstances and limitations, just as our own responses are shaped by our individual challenges. When you understand that everyone has their own battles, empathy becomes easier to extend, even to those who act in ways you find difficult or disagreeable. This practice of empathy helps you see people as complex beings rather than one-dimensional characters, cultivating a sense of acceptance and understanding. Another key element of Stoic empathy is the practice of active listening. In a world where distractions are constant, giving someone your undivided attention is an act of respect and compassion. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, encouraged us to listen twice as much as you speak, highlighting the importance of silence and attentiveness in understanding others. Active listening involves more than hearing words. It requires observing body language, tone, and the emotions underlying what someone says. By focusing on understanding rather than immediately forming a response, you open the door to deeper connection and show the other person that their thoughts and feelings are valued. Empathy also means withholding judgment, especially when others' actions seem puzzling or frustrating. It's easy to fall into the trap of criticism or assumptions, but the Stoics teach us to remember that everyone has reasons for their behavior. Seneca noted, "To be angry at another's faults is foolish. They are not at fault for being who they are, just as we are not at fault for being who we are." This wisdom encourages us to approach others with curiosity rather than criticism, giving us a chance to understand them better before jumping to conclusions. By withholding judgment, we foster an environment of openness and respect that strengthens our connections. To practice empathy as the Stoics did, it's also useful to engage in self-reflection. Consider your own experiences of hardship, mistakes, and personal growth. When you reflect on times when you may have acted out of fear, confusion, or misunderstanding, it becomes easier to empathize with others who might be navigating similar emotions. Empathy, in this way, starts within. By understanding yourself, you build a compassionate foundation that allows you to extend the same understanding to others. Practicing empathy is a transformative Stoic habit that deepens relationships and enhances your perspective on the human experience. By actively listening, withholding judgment, and reflecting on shared humanity, you cultivate a form of compassion that is resilient, intentional, and grounded in wisdom. Empathy becomes more than a virtue. It becomes a path toward meaningful connection and inner peace, enriching both your life and the lives of those around you. Through empathy, the Stoic approach to compassion reveals itself as an enduring, powerful practice for building true human connections. Lesson 2. Practicing patience. The Stoic key to lasting connections. Patience is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and an essential virtue for building meaningful and lasting connections with others. In a world that often demands instant gratification and quick resolutions, patience can seem like a rarity. Yet the Stoics understood that true understanding and compassion emerge when we allow others and ourselves the time to grow, learn, and express themselves fully. Patience then becomes an act of respect and kindness that strengthens our relationships and reinforces our commitment to a life rooted in wisdom and empathy. To cultivate patience, start by accepting that every person is on their own unique journey, shaped by experiences, challenges, and perspectives different from your own. As Epictetus once said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them." This insight encourages us to remember that our perspective isn't universal. When we encounter someone with a different viewpoint or approach, practicing patience allows us to suspend judgment and open ourselves to understanding their unique perspective. This pause not only prevents misunderstandings, but also creates an environment where others feel seen and valued, fostering deeper, more authentic connections. One practical way to practice patience in relationships is to cultivate active listening without rushing to respond. Often, we are so focused on what we want to say next that we miss the depth of what the other person is expressing. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Although this quote might appear to address conflicts, it highlights the Stoic principle of self-control. When someone says something that provokes you, rather than reacting impulsively, choose to listen and understand. Letting go of the need to win an argument or impose your view gives you the freedom to genuinely connect, guided by patience and respect. Another aspect of patience in Stoicism involves releasing the desire to control others or force immediate change. Often, we become impatient with others because we want them to meet our expectations or change according to our timetable. However, the Stoics remind us that we can only control our own actions, not the actions of others. Seneca noted, "What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." In a similar vein, true patience involves respecting others' timelines and understanding that change, growth, and realization are personal processes that cannot be rushed. By practicing patience, you show others that you value their autonomy and trust in their journey. Practicing patience also means accepting that relationships, like life itself, have ebbs and flows. Not every interaction will be perfect or go as planned. Rather than becoming frustrated by temporary misunderstandings or disagreements, view these moments as opportunities to practice tolerance and adaptability. The Stoic approach is not to resist these fluctuations, but to embrace them with a calm, patient mindset, understanding that every relationship will encounter challenges. Finally, patience is about embracing humility and recognizing our own imperfections. We all make mistakes, act impulsively, or speak out of turn. By acknowledging that we, too, require patience and forgiveness, we develop the capacity to extend the same grace to others. When we are patient with ourselves, we cultivate a more compassionate approach to others, allowing relationships to flourish without the weight of unrealistic expectations or constant pressure. In practicing patience, you embody a powerful Stoic principle that nurtures understanding, strengthens connections, and cultivates an environment of mutual respect. Through patience, relationships can deepen naturally, grounded in a trust that each person is valued for who they are, not who we want them to be. This virtue, woven into daily interactions, transforms relationships into meaningful exchanges where true growth, empathy, and wisdom can thrive. Lesson 3. Fostering generosity, expanding the circle of compassion. Generosity, as viewed by Stoic philosophy, goes beyond mere acts of giving. It encompasses a broad spirit of benevolence towards others' feelings, thoughts, and needs. In Stoicism, generosity is seen as a way to cultivate a life of virtue and deepen human connections through acts of kindness and understanding. This form of generosity is not limited to material gifts, but includes offering time, attention, and empathy, resources that are often more valuable than physical objects. To practice Stoic generosity, begin by considering the concept of oikeiosis, which is the Stoic principle of affinity and natural affection towards others. This principle encourages us to extend our concern for our welfare to the welfare of others, recognizing that all human beings are interconnected. Seneca elaborates on this idea by urging us to treat all people as if they were our relatives. Nature produces a special love of offspring, and yet you will find none more greedy than parents for their offspring's sake. In modern terms, Seneca is advocating for a universal compassion that views the well-being of others as intertwined with our own. One effective way to cultivate this Stoic generosity is by practicing active kindness in everyday interactions. This means not only offering help or support when it's convenient, but actively looking for opportunities to assist, encourage, or uplift others. Such generosity of spirit requires being attentive to the needs of those around us and responding with kindness, even in small ways. This could be as simple as offering a listening ear to someone who is struggling, providing thoughtful feedback, or showing appreciation for others' efforts. Each act of kindness reinforces the Stoic belief that by helping others, we enhance our own lives. Another important aspect of Stoic generosity involves reducing judgment and increasing understanding. This means generously interpreting others' actions and intentions in a favorable light. Instead of assuming the worst when someone acts in a way we don't understand or agree with, Stoic generosity encourages us to consider the circumstances that may have influenced their behavior. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be tolerant with others and strict with ourselves, which is a call to practice empathy and forbearance by giving others the benefit of the doubt. This approach not only fosters peaceful interactions, but also builds a foundation of trust and respect that is vital for deepening connections. Furthermore, Stoic generosity also entails sharing wisdom and knowledge without reservation. The Stoics viewed wisdom as the greatest gift one could give, far surpassing material wealth in value. By freely sharing our insights, experiences, and understanding, we offer others tools for personal growth and happiness. This can be done through mentoring, teaching, or simply sharing personal stories and lessons learned. The key is to give without expecting anything in return, embracing the joy that comes from seeing others grow and succeed. Lastly, practicing generosity also means being open to receiving. Stoics acknowledge that true generosity involves a mutual exchange of gifts, whether material or spiritual. Allowing others to contribute to our lives, accepting help, and learning from others are also acts of generosity. This reciprocity enriches relationships, creating a cycle of giving and receiving that benefits everyone involved. It reflects the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with others, where generosity flows freely in both directions. By embracing Stoic generosity, you actively contribute to a more compassionate, understanding, and connected world. This generosity not only enhances the lives of those around you, but also enriches your own life, bringing you closer to the Stoic ideal of a virtuous, fulfilled existence. Generosity, therefore, is not just a moral duty, but a path to personal transformation and profound human connection. Lesson 4. Embracing vulnerability, the strength in openness. Stoicism often emphasizes the importance of resilience and control over one's emotions, but it also advocates for the strength found in vulnerability. Contrary to what many might think, vulnerability is not a weakness. Rather, it is a profound strength that fosters sincerity, connection, and trust. Embracing vulnerability means acknowledging your feelings, uncertainties, and fears openly, not as barriers, but as bridges to deeper relationships and self-understanding. Vulnerability starts with self-awareness, a key Stoic practice. It involves an honest assessment of your own emotions and motives, and the courage to share these insights with others. This openness does not mean relinquishing control over your emotions, but rather choosing to be transparent about them. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, being mindful of one's inner life and sharing one's struggles was a way to connect with the shared human experience. He wrote in Meditations, "Why should we feel anger at the world? As if the world would notice." By recognizing the universality of challenges and emotions, vulnerability becomes a point of connection rather than isolation. To effectively practice vulnerability, it's crucial to communicate your thoughts and feelings clearly and openly. This does not mean oversharing or seeking sympathy, but rather expressing yourself authentically in a way that respects both your boundaries and those of others. When you express your doubts, fears, or joys honestly, you invite others to understand your perspective and experience. This type of sharing can deepen relationships tremendously, creating a space where genuine support and understanding can flourish. Moreover, embracing vulnerability allows you to face your fears and grow beyond them. The Stoics believed that by confronting and discussing our fears, we diminish their power over us. Seneca advised, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you share your concerns and listen to others share theirs, you often find that your fears are common and manageable, which reduces anxiety and fosters a sense of commonality and support. Another aspect of vulnerability is the acceptance of help. Stoicism teaches the value of independence and self-sufficiency, yet it also recognizes the importance of community and mutual aid. Allowing others to help you and showing gratitude for this support strengthens communal bonds and demonstrates a humble acceptance of life's interdependent nature. This reciprocity builds trust and shows that strength is not just about self-reliance, but also about recognizing when to lean on others. Finally, vulnerability involves forgiving yourself and others. It requires acknowledging mistakes and learning from them without harsh judgment. This openness to learning and adaptation is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, which views every experience as an opportunity for personal growth. When you are vulnerable, you admit that you are not perfect and that improvement is always possible. This mindset encourages a lifelong journey of learning, where each setback is a step forward on the path to wisdom. Embracing vulnerability as described by Stoicism does not weaken your character but strengthens it, allowing you to forge deeper connections and grow in compassion and understanding. It teaches that the bravest thing you can do is to open yourself to both giving and receiving honesty, which in turn fosters authentic relationships and a fulfilling life. Thus, vulnerability, when practiced with wisdom and intent, becomes not just a Stoic practice, but a profound source of strength. Lesson 5. Cultivating acceptance, navigating life's unpredictability with grace. Acceptance is a pivotal Stoic virtue that centers on embracing life as it comes, recognizing that we can control our responses, but not the external world. This Stoic principle encourages a proactive rather than reactive approach to life's challenges, fostering a deep-seated peace and resilience. By cultivating acceptance, you can navigate the unpredictability of life with equanimity, focusing on what can be changed and relinquishing angst over what cannot. To practice Stoic acceptance, start by distinguishing between what is within your control and what is not. Epictetus famously stated, "The chief task in life is simply this, to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control." When you focus your energy and mental efforts on your own actions, choices, and attitudes, you are empowered to act purposefully and effectively. For instance, you cannot control whether someone will act kindly towards you, but you can control your reaction to their behavior. This shift in focus reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, paving the way for a more proactive and contented life. Acceptance also involves embracing the present moment as it is, without constant judgment or wishing for different circumstances. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to work with whatever the present offers and not against it. When you accept each moment without resistance, you reduce internal conflict and open yourself to experiencing life more fully. This doesn't mean passive resignation, but an active engagement with the present, making the best out of each situation. For example, if you face a setback in your career, instead of dwelling on disappointment or unfairness, accept the situation as an opportunity to learn and grow, perhaps redirecting your path in ways you hadn't previously considered. Another aspect of Stoic acceptance is dealing with discomfort and difficulty without letting them dominate your emotions or reactions. The Stoics viewed challenges as exercises for developing character and virtue. Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." In this sense, accepting hardship as a part of life not only builds resilience, but also enriches your character. You learn to see adversity as a catalyst for personal development, embracing trials as opportunities to strengthen your patience, courage, and wisdom. Furthermore, practicing acceptance helps in maintaining peace within relationships. By accepting others as they are, without trying to change them, you cultivate healthier and more genuine connections. This involves understanding that just like us, others are acting according to their own beliefs, capabilities, and circumstances. When you truly accept this, you can interact with compassion and patience, attributes that enhance both personal and professional relationships. Finally, cultivating acceptance allows you to let go of the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. This liberates you from unnecessary stress and anxiety, granting you the serenity to enjoy life's pleasures and face its pains with a balanced perspective. It also fosters humility, a recognition of our place within the larger tapestry of existence, where many elements are beyond our individual influence. By integrating the Stoic practice of acceptance into your daily life, you not only enhance your capacity to deal with whatever life throws your way, but also develop a deeper appreciation for life itself. This approach does not diminish ambition or deter action, but contextualizes them within a framework of serenity and practical wisdom. Acceptance, therefore, is not about giving up on dreams, but about pursuing them with a grounded and tranquil heart, ready for any outcome. Lesson 6. Strengthening self-control, mastering desires and impulses. Self-control is a central theme in Stoic philosophy, emphasizing the importance of governing one's desires and impulses to lead a life of virtue and integrity. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from satisfying all our desires, but from cultivating the inner strength to choose which desires are worth pursuing based on reason and virtue. By mastering self-control, we not only make choices that align with our deepest values, but we also maintain our peace of mind and autonomy in the face of life's temptations and challenges. The practice of self-control begins with self-awareness, recognizing your impulses and understanding their origins. This involves a mindful observation of your thoughts and feelings, identifying the triggers that lead to impulsive behaviors. For instance, if you find yourself repeatedly overindulging in comfort food when stressed, recognizing this pattern is the first step in exercising self-control. Seneca advises, "Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms. You'll be able to use them better when you're older." This suggests channeling your impulses towards more constructive and meaningful pursuits as you gain wisdom over time. To strengthen self-control, it is crucial to set clear, rational goals based on your values and principles. Stoicism teaches that living according to reason leads to eudaimonia, or a flourishing life. By defining what is truly important to you, whether it's health, relationships, career, or personal growth, you can use these values as a compass to guide your decisions. When faced with a choice, ask yourself, does this action help me advance towards my goals, or is it merely a momentary satisfaction that might lead to regret? This method of questioning helps fortify your resolve and makes it easier to resist short-term temptations in favor of long-term benefits. Another key Stoic strategy for enhancing self-control is the practice of voluntary discomfort. This involves intentionally placing yourself in situations where you must exercise restraint, such as fasting, limiting unnecessary spending, or resisting gossip. Epictetus stated, "It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things." By exposing yourself to minor discomforts voluntarily, you train yourself to remain calm and rational in more challenging situations. This not only strengthens your self-control, but also reduces the fear of adverse circumstances, as you prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort without being overwhelmed. In addition, cultivating self-control requires consistent reflection and self-correction. The Stoics advocated for daily examinations of one's thoughts and actions to assess whether they align with one's ethical principles. At the end of each day, review the decisions you made, the impulses you resisted, and the moments you gave in. Reflect on what led to success in maintaining self-control and where improvements are needed. This practice encourages a mindset of continuous growth and helps cement self-control as a habit rather than a sporadic effort. Lastly, practicing self-control is not about denying all pleasures or living a life of austerity. Instead, it's about choosing pleasures that are healthy and constructive and enjoying them in moderation. This balanced approach ensures that you are not enslaved by your desires, but are in command of them, able to enjoy life without becoming dependent on external sources of happiness. Through the disciplined practice of self-control, you gain not just mastery over your desires, but also greater peace, happiness, and resilience. You live not at the whim of passing emotions and circumstances, but guided by a clear, rational understanding of your best self. This Stoic practice paves the way for a life of fulfillment and wisdom, where every choice is a reflection of your deepest values and aspirations. Lesson 7. Living with integrity. Aligning actions with values. Integrity, a fundamental Stoic virtue, involves consistently aligning your actions with your values, regardless of external pressures or temptations. It embodies the principle of living a unified life, where your thoughts, words, and deeds are in harmony. For Stoics, integrity is not just about moral uprightness, but about coherence between one's inner convictions and outward behavior, creating a life that is not fragmented by contradictions, but strengthened by consistency. To cultivate integrity, begin by clearly defining your core values. What principles do you hold most dear? Is it honesty, courage, justice, or perhaps wisdom? Once you've identified these, consider how they translate into daily actions. Stoicism teaches that virtues are not abstract concepts, but practical guides that inform our behavior in every situation. For example, if honesty is a key value, integrity means that your interactions with others should be transparent and truthful, even when deceit might offer a short-term benefit. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This call to action reminds us that integrity requires not just belief, but active implementation. Practicing integrity also involves self-reflection and self-accountability. It's about regularly examining your actions to ensure they align with your values and making adjustments when they do not. This can be challenging, particularly when faced with decisions where the right choice is not the easiest one. The Stoic practice of evening reflection can be instrumental here. Each night, review the day's events and your responses to them. Ask yourself where you were successful in maintaining integrity and where you might have fallen short. This practice not only fosters greater self-awareness, but also reinforces your commitment to live by your values consistently. Furthermore, living with integrity means standing firm in your values, even in the face of adversity or unpopularity. Stoicism holds that true good lies in our own virtuous behavior and not in external outcomes. Therefore, integrity sometimes requires making decisions that are not well received by others, but are correct according to your moral compass. Epictetus emphasized the importance of being true to oneself. If you ever happen to turn your attention to externals so as to wish to please anyone, be assured that you have ruined your scheme of life. This statement underscores the importance of prioritizing your principles over the desire for external approval. Another aspect of living with integrity is the willingness to admit mistakes and seek to rectify them. Integrity is not about perfection, but about the pursuit of continuous improvement. Acknowledging when you've erred and striving to correct your course demonstrates a deep level of honesty with yourself and others. This openness not only cultivates personal growth, but also builds trust and respect in your relationships. Lastly, integrity involves promoting and encouraging it in others by setting an example. This doesn't mean imposing your values on others, but living them so authentically that they inspire those around you. By embodying the virtues you espouse, you serve as a role model, influencing others through your actions rather than coercion. This is particularly powerful in leadership positions, where the integrity of the leader can set the tone for an entire organization or community. By integrating integrity deeply into your life, you ensure that your existence is not only ethical, but also consistent and whole. This alignment of values and actions not only brings inner peace, but also positions you as a steadfast and reliable individual in your personal and professional relationships. Through integrity, you navigate life not as a series of disjointed episodes, but as a coherent narrative marked by steadfast principles and unwavering purpose. Lesson 8. Overcoming envy. Finding contentment in your own path. Envy, one of the most corrosive emotions in human relationships, can significantly hinder personal growth and happiness. Stoicism, with its emphasis on inner peace and self-sufficiency, offers powerful tools to overcome envy by fostering contentment with one's own life and capabilities. The Stoic approach to combating envy involves a deep understanding of what truly matters, which is the pursuit of virtue and the development of one's character, rather than external achievements or possessions. To address envy, Stoicism teaches us first to recognize and accept the emotion without judgment. Envy can arise when we perceive others as having more success, recognition, or resources. Rather than denying or suppressing these feelings, Stoics like Epictetus encourage us to examine them rationally. By questioning the roots and validity of our envy, we often find that it stems from misplaced values or unrealistic comparisons. For instance, if you envy someone's professional success, it is helpful to ask yourself whether their path aligns with your own values and life goals. Often, you may find that what you truly value isn't in line with what you envy, which diminishes the emotion's power. Moreover, Stoicism advocates for focusing on one's own progress and virtues rather than comparing oneself with others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The only thing that isn't worthless, to live this life out truthfully and rightly, and be patient with those who don't." This perspective shifts the focus from external benchmarks of success to internal development. When you concentrate on improving yourself and adhering to your ethical principles, the achievements of others become less relevant to your self-worth. This shift not only reduces envy, but also enhances your sense of personal fulfillment. Another Stoic strategy for overcoming envy is to practice gratitude. By actively appreciating what you have rather than what you lack, you cultivate a sense of abundance. Seneca advised, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Regularly acknowledging the good in your life, from health and relationships to skills and experiences, can counter feelings of deficiency that often accompany envy. Gratitude reinforces the Stoic belief that happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances. Stoics also suggest turning envy into a motivator for personal growth, rather than a source of resentment. If someone's achievements spark envy, consider what qualities or actions have contributed to their success that you might emulate or learn from. This approach transforms envy from a negative emotion into a constructive force that drives self-improvement and learning. It's about drawing inspiration from others' successes without begrudging them, which aligns with the Stoic ideal of mutual growth and support among rational beings. Lastly, practicing generosity is another effective way to combat envy. By being generous with your time, resources, and knowledge, you reinforce your self-efficacy and the idea that you have plenty to offer. This generosity not only diminishes feelings of inadequacy that underlie envy, but also builds stronger, more supportive relationships. In giving, you receive a greater appreciation for your contributions and capabilities, further reducing the need to compare yourself unfavorably with others. In sum, overcoming envy through Stoic practices involves deep self-reflection, focusing on personal virtue, practicing gratitude, using envy as a catalyst for growth, and engaging in generosity. These methods collectively foster a life of contentment, free from the destructive influence of envy and oriented towards personal excellence and communal well-being. Lesson 9. Building resilience, the Stoic practice of perseverance. Resilience, a key virtue in Stoic philosophy, involves the capacity to endure and adapt in the face of adversity, setbacks, or stress. without losing one's composure or sense of purpose. This stoic resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growing stronger through the challenges and using them as opportunities for personal development and wisdom. By cultivating resilience, you ensure that no external event has the power to disrupt your inner peace or derail your progress toward living a virtuous life. To build resilience, Stoicism teaches the importance of perception. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea is central to developing resilience. It emphasizes that external events do not have inherent emotional states. They are neutral until we interpret and react to them. Training yourself to see challenges as neutral or even positive, as opportunities for growth, can change your emotional response to them. For example, if you face a significant professional setback, rather than viewing it as a disaster, you can see it as a chance to reassess your path and strengthen your skills. Another aspect of Stoic resilience is preparation. Stoics advocate for premeditating on potential misfortunes through a practice known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This technique involves visualizing the worst-case scenarios in detail and preparing oneself mentally to handle them. Such mental rehearsals not only reduce the shock when difficulties occur, but also help you devise practical strategies to deal with challenges effectively. This preparedness reinforces your mental and emotional defenses, making you less susceptible to despair or frustration when faced with actual problems. Moreover, Stoicism encourages embracing discomfort as a way to build endurance and resilience. By voluntarily exposing yourself to difficulties, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, you train yourself to handle discomfort with calm and dignity. Practicing fasting, for instance, can teach you to manage hunger and desire. Similarly, limiting sensory indulgences can enhance your ability to find satisfaction in simple things, reducing dependency on external sources of happiness. These practices strengthen your ability to remain content and focused, even in less than ideal circumstances. The concept of amor fati, or love of fate, is also integral to Stoic resilience. This involves not only accepting, but also embracing everything that happens as if you had chosen it yourself. By loving your fate, you transform the unavoidable into the desirable. Nietzsche, who was heavily influenced by Stoicism, elaborated on this concept, arguing that to achieve greatness, one must not just bear what is necessary, but love it. When you adopt this mindset, every challenge becomes fuel for your growth, and resilience becomes not just a defensive mechanism, but an active, joyful embrace of life's unpredictability. Finally, resilience is reinforced by the Stoic community and principles. Stoics believe in supporting each other through hardships and sharing wisdom that helps everyone endure and thrive. By engaging with the teachings of Stoics, participating in discussions, and applying Stoic principles, you strengthen your resilience network. This community aspect ensures that you are not alone in your struggles and that you have a wellspring of philosophical insights to draw upon when needed. Building resilience through Stoic practices means developing an unshakable core that holds firm, no matter how stormy life gets. It's about cultivating a robust inner life that external circumstances cannot undermine, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. Through resilience, you not only survive challenges, but also learn to thrive amidst them, continuously growing stronger and more virtuous. Lesson 10. Exercising discretion, the art of choosing wisely. In Stoic philosophy, discretion involves the judicious use of reason to make choices that align with one's moral principles and long-term well-being. It's about understanding the appropriate action in any given situation and acting according to what is most rational and beneficial, not only for oneself, but also for others. This practice of discretion is essential for living a virtuous life, as it directs one's conduct in ways that reflect wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, the core virtues of Stoicism. To develop discretion, one must first cultivate the ability to pause and reflect before acting. This pause is critical. It provides the space to consider not just the immediate effects of an action, but its broader implications. Marcus Aurelius, a staunch advocate of reflective practice, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By exercising the mind to pause and reflect, you enhance your ability to respond to situations with discretion rather than react out of impulse or emotion. Discretion also requires a deep understanding of one's values and goals. It involves consistent self-examination and alignment of your actions with these values. For example, if one of your principal values is kindness, discretion will involve assessing whether your actions contribute to kindness and refraining from those that cause harm or distress to others. This alignment ensures that your decisions reinforce your commitment to your principles, enhancing your integrity and consistency. Another key aspect of discretion in Stoicism is the concept of appropriate action, or kathekon, which refers to actions that are fitting to one's role and nature. This involves understanding the roles you play, such as a parent, a friend, a leader, and the responsibilities that come with these roles. Discretion guides you to fulfill these responsibilities in the most effective and ethical manner. For instance, as a leader, appropriate action might involve making tough decisions that are in the best interest of the group, even if they are unpopular. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that discretion should not be swayed by external rewards, such as fame, power, or wealth. Seneca highlighted the dangers of being driven by external goods. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become, and the same is true of fame. True discretion involves making choices that remain grounded in virtue rather than external validation. This approach ensures that your decisions are made for the right reasons and that they contribute to genuine contentment and peace. Finally, practicing discretion involves embracing the wisdom of adaptability, recognizing that the best course of action can change based on circumstances. It requires an openness to continuously learn and adjust your understanding of what is right. This adaptability is critical in maintaining a realistic and flexible approach to life's challenges, allowing you to respond in the most appropriate and effective way as situations evolve. By exercising discretion in your daily life, you cultivate a powerful tool that enhances your decision-making and guides you to live in harmony with your values and the world around you. Discretion ensures that your choices are thoughtful, your actions are meaningful, and your life trajectory aligns with the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. This practice not only fosters personal growth and integrity, but also contributes to a more rational and compassionate society. Lesson 11. Embracing change. The Stoic flexibility change is an inherent part of life, and how we respond to it can profoundly affect our well-being and contentment. Stoicism, with its focus on adaptability and acceptance, teaches that embracing change is not merely a survival strategy, but a path to true freedom. This Stoic approach involves recognizing the impermanence of external conditions while maintaining a steadfast commitment to internal virtues. To truly embrace change, Stoics recommend starting with the acknowledgement that everything external, wealth, status, even relationships, can be subject to change. Epictetus famously said, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." By aligning your expectations with reality, you mitigate disappointment and are better prepared to handle transitions. This mental alignment allows you to remain focused on what you can control, your actions and attitudes. Adopting a mindset that views change as natural and inevitable is also crucial. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us, and another follows and is gone." This vivid metaphor encourages us to see life's changes like a river's flow, constant, natural, and beyond our control. When you accept change as part of the natural order, you reduce resistance and increase your capacity to adapt gracefully. Stoicism also teaches the importance of flexibility in thoughts and actions. Just as a tree bends with the wind but does not break, adopting mental and emotional flexibility allows you to endure life's changes without breaking under pressure. This flexibility involves adjusting your strategies and expectations as circumstances evolve, ensuring that your responses are always aligned with your core principles but appropriate to the current context. Moreover, embracing change means being proactive about personal growth and continuous learning. Stoics view every change as an opportunity to learn something new about the world and about oneself. Seneca suggested that one should be like a wrestler, ready to stand firm or adapt as needed. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because an artful life requires being prepared to meet and withstand sudden and unexpected attacks. By viewing change as a teacher, you open yourself to insights and improvements that only come through experiencing and adapting to new challenges. Finally, practicing gratitude plays a vital role in embracing change. By focusing on what you have rather than what you might be losing, you cultivate an attitude of abundance and appreciation. Gratitude anchors you in the present and highlights the transient nature of life's troubles. It transforms the way you perceive change, encouraging you to focus on the positives that each new situation brings. By embracing change through these Stoic practices, you develop not just resilience, but also a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. You learn to navigate life's uncertainties, not with fear or resistance, but with wisdom, courage, and optimism. Embracing change in this way doesn't just prepare you for life's inevitable shifts. It enriches your experience of life, deepening your understanding and appreciation of the world's dynamic nature. Lesson 12. Practicing detachment. The path to inner peace. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is not about indifference or lack of engagement. It is about forming a healthy emotional distance from external events and outcomes, allowing you to remain internally stable and focused regardless of external circumstances. This Stoic detachment is crucial for maintaining tranquility and making rational decisions based on wisdom rather than emotion. The practice of detachment begins with understanding the difference between what is within your control and what is not. Stoics emphasize focusing on your efforts and intentions rather than the outcomes, which are often subject to forces beyond your influence. Epictetus stated, "Some things are in our control and others not." By internalizing this, you can invest your energy and emotions more wisely, dedicating them to personal actions and attitudes rather than unpredictable external events. To cultivate detachment, begin by observing your reactions to events with an aim to understand your attachments. What upsets you or causes you stress? Often, these emotional responses signal areas where your happiness is tied to external conditions. Recognize these patterns and consciously work to shift your focus from external validation to internal virtue. For instance, if career progression is a source of stress, reflect on why you feel this way. Is it the title and prestige you are after, or the personal growth and contribution to your field that drive you? Focusing on these intrinsic values can help you detach from the superficial aspects and reduce anxiety over outcomes. Detachment also involves accepting the impermanence of all things. Marcus Aurelius noted, "All is ephemeral, both memory and the object of memory." Acknowledging that change and loss are natural aspects of life helps in loosening the grip of fear and desire that often accompanies our attachments to people, possessions, and statuses. When you embrace impermanence, you can appreciate and enjoy life's moments without clinging to them, making it easier to accept changes and losses when they inevitably come. Moreover, Stoic detachment encourages the practice of mindfulness, staying present in the moment without overthinking the past or future. This mindfulness allows you to engage fully with life as it unfolds, responding to each situation with calmness and clarity. It helps you avoid being swept away by strong emotions that can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions. Instead, mindfulness fosters a serene engagement with life, where actions are considered and responses are balanced. Finally, cultivating gratitude is integral to practicing detachment. By appreciating what you have in the present, you reduce the longing for more or fear of losing what you possess. Gratitude anchors you in the here and now, reducing dependencies on specific outcomes for happiness. It shifts your perspective from scarcity and loss to abundance and presence, facilitating a deeper acceptance of life's flow. Through practicing Stoic detachment, you develop the ability to maintain inner peace and clarity regardless of external conditions. This practice strengthens your resilience, enhances your decision-making, and deepens your enjoyment of life. Detachment, thus, is not about removing yourself from life's experiences, but about engaging with them in a way that maintains your inner tranquility and freedom. As we draw the curtains on our exploration of Stoic wisdom, remember that the journey through these teachings is just beginning. Like the Stoic philosopher who turns inward to find true strength, you too have the power to transform insight into action. But this transformation doesn't happen in isolation. It thrives on sharing, discussion, and community. So, I extend an invitation to you, not just to watch and listen, but to engage and act. If today's insights have sparked a thought, stirred a feeling, or inspired a change, don't keep it to yourself. Comment below with your reflections, or share how you plan to integrate these Stoic practices into your daily life. Your interaction creates ripples, influencing others and inviting more voices into this enriching conversation. And if you haven't yet subscribed, consider this your sign to join a community committed to personal growth and philosophical exploration. Subscribe to ensure you don't miss out on our next philosophical journey, and hit that bell icon. After all, even Marcus Aurelius would agree that some external reminders can be quite useful on the path to virtue. Thank you for being here, for seeking wisdom, and for taking steps toward a more deliberate and fulfilled life. Remember, it's not just about learning what the Stoics said, it's about living what they taught. Let's continue this journey together, embracing each lesson not just as listeners, but as doers. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep challenging yourself, and yes, keep thriving in the art of life.